It was yet another resounding win for the Delhi Capitals over the Royal Challengers Bangalore, and that's what we're going to discuss today. This is Uninvited Opinions, and you're watching another episode of End of Days Play. It was billed as a clash between two teams which had got into some decent form and were putting up together a stack of wins. But it was the Delhi Capitals which came on top today against the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Nags, what do you think of the game today?
Had great expectations, and we had some great personnel from both sides going against each other. So Delhi obviously did not disappoint us. So they came out to bat, and they were right on the money right from the word go. So Prithvi Shaw and Shikhar Dhawan are actually are beginning to form quite a formidable opening partnership, and I think they now know how to set the pace at the top. Shaw is obviously given all the license. Um, in spite of that, he is probably showing his maturity a little bit now, being a little selective in how he goes about his stroke play. And I'm quite impressed with the role Shikhar Dhawan is playing. He's obviously playing the second fiddle. There's no doubt about that. But in spite of that, his strike rate is mid 120s to 140, which is not at all bad for a second fiddle. And that sets up the platform perfectly for the big hitters coming down. Shreyas Iyer obviously had a slightly off day today. He obviously thinks, I believe your description of his ego coming in the way is probably correct. He saw that off spin of Moeen Ali and he thought it is harmless, and he went after it, and he got holed out in the deep. But then you can expect that if he kind of tightens that aspect, he is going to be quite reliable. And then Rishabh Pant, and then Stoinis, and then Hetmeyer, he's hardly getting a hit. So that's a very scary batting lineup, if I may say. So immense depth, packed with Indian talent. They are having a tremendous continuity as well, right from the beginning. This is the fifth game, I think. They haven't changed their batting lineup at all. It has only been a few personnel change in the bowling side, but their batting has remained intact, constant. So that's great confidence.
I think what's happened is, in terms of their batting personnel have remained the same, and depending on the situation, they've changed around the batting order. And Stein is coming in at number 5 ahead of Hetmeyer was a case in point. I think they wanted to keep the left-right combination going, but at the same time, I think he came in at the perfect time for them, because for a period of, I think, between the 8th over and the 12th over, Delhi did not get a boundary. So RCB actually went through a passage where they were able to stop the boundaries, keep the runs down. It felt that they were getting the run rate under control after the tremendous start from Shaw and Dhawan. But then once Stoinis came on board, and in partnership with Rishabh Pant, he just went bang, bang, bang. And I think he's discovered his hitting mojo. And I think he's also making a serious case for himself to represent Australia in the T20 format. Having said that, we looked at the explosiveness of the DC batting today. Unfortunately for RCB, their batting came unstuck. I almost get the feeling that RCB, given their batting order, especially the successes of their top order batsmen, the openers in particular, it feels that they're probably better suited to setting a total, rather than sort of chasing one. Because if you look at the 5 games that they've played so far, barring the last game where Padikkal scored a half century, their openers have actually fared better, when they've been batting first rather than batting second. And it almost needs one of either Kohli or APT to fire, and unfortunately that didn't happen for them today, and they sort of crumbled like a pack of cards. This defeat would probably hurt them, but again, they probably won't be too fussed about it, especially given the team composition today, which I really liked. And I think probably, once Moeen Ali finds his batting mojo, I think this team probably gives more balance to RCB. And I'd probably like to see them continue with this a little more in the tournament.
I agree. There was no problem with the team composition. It probably lent them greater balance, but obviously that did not show in their batting performance. The trouble is that it is okay for an individual here and there to have a bad game. RCB seems to be having a collective failure, and therefore their defeats are actually thumping defeats. That is what is going to hurt them. They actually completely capitulated against Kings 11, and today it was a little better, but probably they would agree that as a batting unit they collectively failed. So that's something they would need to rectify. So someone or the other must put their hand up and stand up when someone else has actually had a bad day. So that did not happen, and that trend may need to be addressed by RCB.
And unfortunately, I think even for their bowling, their two key trump cards as far as the bowling is concerned, Yuzvendra Chahal and Navdeep Saini, they both had off days. Neither completed their full quota of overs. Washington Sundar again had a fantastic day, conceding only 20 runs in his 4 overs. Bowling in the power play was fantastic. Similarly, Siraj, who was brought in for this game, he had an excellent game. I thought he bowled really well when he came on, I think around the 7th, 8th overs. And then again, backed it up with a decent performance at the end. But you just got the sense that they probably conceded a little too much.
We talked about RCB's batting failure. It's only correct and apt to attribute that to some excellent bowling from Delhi as well. So it is quite scary what a complete bowling unit Delhi Capitals seem to be putting together here. You have the pace department spearheaded by Rabada and Nokia, who are probably at the peak of their game now.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have the spin department covered. Mishra was obviously having some issues with his finger, so they brought in Akshar Patel, and he had excellent bowling spell today. And Ashwin is there as well. And Harshal Patel is actually coming in and filling in that support bowler role so well that they didn't need to go to Stoinis today for a sixth bowler option. This bowling unit is almost like handpicked from a fantasy league to fetch you the most points. As a squad, I think Delhi has invested very wisely, and they've put together a beautiful looking team together, and they are going to go a long distance in this tournament.
I agree. I was checking some stats at the end of today's game, and Nokia and Rabada combined, they've taken 15 wickets in this tournament at an average of 20, and an economy rate somewhere in the region of 7.25, which is fantastic. Given the conditions that they're playing in, and it's generally been a more batsman-friendly tournament. And it was also lovely to watch Akshar Patel actually come in and toss the ball up. Something that he's not usually known for, but he's probably picked up a trick or two, from watching Amit Mishra. And as you said, I think they've got a fabulous squad, and Delhi seem to be the team to beat this tournament, and they're definitely setting the pace early on in this year's edition. Having talked about their batting and bowling, who's going to be your pick for the man of the match?
When you have such a complete team performance, it obviously makes for a very tough decision. Could we go for one from each discipline? Akshar Patel and Marcus Stoinis. How's that?
I won't disagree. I mean, even though I've got a ball in my hand, I think my pick for the man of the match today, I'd probably tilt towards Marcus Stoinis, because I think his innings changed the course of the game, and that sort of really put Delhi onto a winning total. So I think that was, that for me was the performance that stood out today. In terms of fun fact for the day, there's actually a few interesting events which happened today, and I'd really like for us to dwell a minute or so on this one. Ravi Ashwin, there was a lot of talk ahead of the tournament. Will he run out a batsman who's backing up the non-striker if he is backing up? Aaron Finch gave him an option today, but he chose not to run him out. So maybe Ricky Ponting has got into his head. You don't know what's going to happen. If another batsman does this in the next game, is Ashwin keeping a record book saying, Ricky, one for you and one for me? You don't know. And then the other really interesting bit, which I thought was, De Villiers, when he came on to bat, he hit a boundary over extra cover of Anrich Nokia. But the way he finished the bat, the swirl of his bat finished, it felt that he was, at the end of a hammer throw. It felt he was competing in the Olympics, and he just finished a swirl, and then he just released the hammer. So those were two very interesting events. What's your pick?
If I may add, not necessarily one event as such, but what about the 14 ball stay of Aaron Finch today in his batting? He actually got out 4 times. Of course, dropped in the first 3 occasions and then eventually got out. So to get out 4 times or to give 4 chances in a 14 ball stay says something about the batting confidence. And probably to add to that, the Ashwin incident where he was almost run out at the non-striker's end. My goodness, you can't ask for more. So it was obviously filled with drama. But I think I'll go with the almost Mankad incident where Ashwin probably told the world that, hey, you batsman, you can't steal those important few inches and then show me in bad light if I end up mankading. So what he's doing is perfectly justifiable. He has now shown that he is ready to warn, but I don't think other batsmen are going to be as lucky going forward.
I agree, and I could see that Ricky Ponting had a good chuckle sat in the dugout. But I think this round goes to Ponting, but I don't think Ashwin is going to afford batsman another opportunity. And I'm firmly in Ashwin's camp on this matter. If the batsman is backing up too far, he's well within his rights. I don't agree with all this toss that goes on about spirit of the game. If he's actually following the spirit of the game by sticking to the rules of the game. So I think he's absolutely within his rights to do that. Anyway, moving away from a controversial topic, looking ahead to tomorrow's game between the Mumbai Indians and the Rajasthan Royals, which is due to be played at Abu Dhabi, which we've seen is probably the most difficult wicket among the three venues, especially from a batsman's point of view. So, what's your pick, Naz?
For the tournament's sake, RR must get their team composition right. And forget the team composition. I think they should actually buck themselves up to put in a better show. You can't afford a sloppy performance against a juggernaut of a side like Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians overwhelming favorites, no doubt about it. But I would actually at least look forward to a keenly fought contest.
Well, let's see what happens tomorrow. And that's a wrap on today's episode. If you like this video, please like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to keep more videos coming your way. And stay tuned for another episode, which is due to come your way tomorrow. See you soon.